About your range of emotions based on what the police were
Man, they thought my son was dead, man.
Have you seen your son yet?
No, I haven't.
Do you know where he is?
No, I don't.
Right now?
No, I don't.
Where's
My
your
wife,
wife?
she left. They wouldn't let her in the house. But I want to see my son.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Juliana and let's just get right into it, okay? This is a throwback case from 2014 and I'm an avid fan of Nancy Grace. I love that woman. She's a bit, hard sometimes. She's a bit hardcore, but she's very intelligent and she's passionate about what she does and it shows. But she's also a straight shooter. She tells you how it is. And if your feelings get hurt, then, oh well. But I love her. Speaking of her, it was on her show. I was watching, her show at the time. And this was live. And a father who had reported his son missing on June 14th of, 2014. His son was missing for 11 days. Like the FBI was involved, police, the Detroit Police Department and everything. And they had went to his house, searched his house. He was the father, Charles Bothuell. I think that's how the name is pronounced. The son is also, have the same name as well. So they had went door to door, knocking, handing out posters, trying to raise awareness. The father was doing interviews on different stations and whatever. And during the interview with Nancy Grace, it was reported on air live that his son was found in the basement. And this man put on what he thought was the best performance of his life. You can tell that it was fake. He was bullshitting. He was a bullshitter. Oh my God, my son, he's found. Oh my God, he was in my basement all this time, but the FBI searched there with dogs and everything and they didn't find him. My wife searched it. Okay, sir. And then he went outside, did an interview, even went and hugged the reporter. But I didn't see all this at the time. I just saw the interview with Nancy Grace. And my first thought was, oh my God, okay, great. The little boy's found. He's safe. He's alive. Because a lot of times with cases like this, especially he's been missing for 11 days, I thought that he was maybe no longer on this earth. But he was found alive. I'm like, okay, great. Thank God. And then I never followed up, with the case after. And then it just came back on my to my memory. And turns out that the father and the stepmother was abusing the little boy. He was 12 years old. They were abusing him. And they're the ones that had locked him in the basement. They tried to deny it and say, he had access to leave whenever he wanted to. We don't know why he did this. We didn't know he was there. And, so they were charged with child endangerment and abuse and stuff like that. And this happened in 2014 on January 19th of 2016. The case was finally resolved in court when the father, and I'm saying the father and the son because they both have the same name, so I don't want to confuse everything. So the father pled guilty to 4th-degree child abuse in exchange for removal of the 2nd-degree child abuse charges. And he was placed on 18 months probation, mandatory anger management classes. He lost custody of his son and was ordered to have no further contact with him. The wife accepted a plea deal, but her the details of her plea deal were not made public. But it was reported that her record would be cleared after 6 months if she stayed out of legal trouble. Whether or not they're still together, I'm not sure. They did have other children together. But I wonder how he's doing today. I hope he got counseling and everything and he's in a much better place because he was beaten with a PVC pipe. The father admitted to that in court, that he beat him with a PVC pipe. They also made him do rigorous exercise routines every day. For what purposes, I'm not sure. He wasn't fed properly. But I'm going to attach some of the clips here. And I hope the little boy is doing well. today. I hope, he was given counseling and everything. But this is just a sad, depressing case. Like, a lot of times when you see parents report their children missing, a lot of times they're the perpetrators. But yeah, I'm going to attach the clips here. Let me know. Have you guys ever heard about this case? Do you remember it? If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. Comment, share the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Out to the father of the missing 12-year-old boy, Charlie. With me is his father, Charlie Bothuell. Charlie, we're getting reports that your son has been found in your basement. Sir? Mr. Bothuell, are you...
What?
Yeah, we are getting reports that your son has been found alive in your basement.
What?
Yes, that's what, if you could hand me that wire very quickly. Yeah, we're getting that right now from how could your son be alive in your basement?
Oh, shit. I have no idea.
Now, this is just a report that we are hearing out of Detroit that we're trying to confirm.
God,
everybody
please.
in New York, please get on it. Let me know when we get Charlie Langton from WWJ. Sir, did you check your basement?
I checked my basement. The FBI checked my basement. The Detroit police checked my basement. My wife checked my basement. I've been down there several times. We've all been checking. How?
Okay, this is what we are hearing, that the missing 12-year-old boy has been found alive and well in his father's basement. Now, this is what I don't understand why you guys would have reported he's missing, and all our viewers have been on the lookout for him.
We've been on the lookout for him. We searched that entire house repeatedly. The FBI searched, the Detroit police searched. We've all searched. God, they brought dogs, everything. Everybody is searched. What? Okay, my son.
Have you checked your cell phone?
My cell phone is dead. I actually getting down here, I left it in the car charging because it had died on me. Okay.
And you're telling us that you searched your basement and your wife searched your basement?
I searched my basement. My wife searched my basement. The FBI searched my basement. The Detroit police searched my basement. We've all searched my basement multiple times. Yes. They had the dogs search. We've all searched the basement. The dogs searched my basement. Oh, God.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to give you a chance to call home and see what you can find out. Charlie Langton, WWJ News. Charlie, we're getting reports tonight that the boy has been found alive in Daddy's basement.
Yeah, Nancy, we're just getting word right now, and we've just basically confirmed that, yeah, the boy has been found alive in the father's basement. And we're just getting reports right now that that is true. And literally, it just broke moments ago. Now, why the father didn't know about that for the last 11 days, what if the child was afraid, if there was any other collusion amongst anyone, what the child ate, all of those are questions that we are trying to get reports on right now. We understand that we're sending news crews right now to the scene. We're also understanding that the police chief is going to make yet another announcement that should be coming up a little bit later on. But, yes, the boy has been found alive in his father's basement.
Charlie, let me ask you, what's your reaction?
Did you know that he was in the basement?
Man, no, I didn't know that he was in the basement. I searched. My wife searched. We've had dozens of police officers, FBI agents here, dogs. We've all been searching for my son. So any intimation that I knew that he was in there somehow, it's absurd. Literally, I couldn't find him. If the FBI couldn't find him and the Detroit police couldn't find him, for anybody to intimate, they did finally, yeah. They've been living in my house for the last 10, 11 days.
Have
They've
you
been
looked in
here.
the basement?
We looked in my basement. I looked in my basement. They looked. They went down there with search dogs. My wife looked
When was the
before she
last time
called
you
me.
looked? When was the last time you looked for your son down there?
The last time I looked for my son down there was a few days ago, before the FBI did, before they
haven't been
came
down
with the
there
dogs. No, I've been in the basement, but
Has he ever hidden in the basement before? Has he ever hidden down there before?
No, he hasn't.
We heard that your ex-wife may have been hiding him down there from you and feeding him.
That's absurd. And my ex-wife did not take off. The FBI or the task force was here executing a search warrant. They forced my wife to leave. I was here. You guys were here. They stated we could not be in the house while the search was being executed. That was a decision of law enforcement, not the decision of my wife.
How surprised are you that he was found in the basement?
I'm shocked because I looked, like I said, the Detroit police looked, the FBI looked, repeatedly. They've been through here. They've been in my house until 3 in the morning on occasions and all night. When a lieutenant kept me and my family at the police station from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. The Detroit police and the task force were here all night executing search warrants. So to say say that, you know, for anybody to imply that I somehow knew that my son was in the basement, it's absurd and it's wrong. I love my son. I'm glad that he's home and he's going to have the great future that he deserves to have.
Well, no one
When we talked to you earlier today, there was deeper concern, perhaps about a homicide.
Yeah, man, you broke my heart with that, man.
But tell me about your range of emotions based on what the police were
Man, they thought my son was dead, man.
Have you seen your son yet?
No, I haven't.
Do you know where he is?
No, I don't. No, I don't. My wife, she left. They wouldn't let her in the house. But I want to see my son.
This is Mr. Bothuell, it's Charlie Bothuell. He's overcome with emotion right now. Obviously, Detroit police just finding, and the FBI locating his son in the basement of the house here. Oh, let's just stay showing the dead. Showing the basement. Charlie Bothuell, what happens now? Where are you going now?
I want to see my son.
They took him out to be
They're getting
evaluated.
evaluation.
Is there anything that
They're having a doctor look at him. He's been away a long time.
Potentially any signs of abuse, any reason why he would be hiding in that basement?
My son, you know, and I don't know that he was there the whole time. I want to talk to my son. My son obviously came to live with me because he had some challenges. My son was under ultimatum. I said, look, you have to do right, period. Daddy can't be the only person that you listen to. And I use this Uncle Daryl as an example. I said, the most important thing is that you get what you need so that you can be successful in life. And coming this fall, we're planning on moving. You're going to be doing what you need to be doing, either in public school in the suburbs or private school, or, you know, you might be going to Lyman Ward Military Academy, another boarding school, just like your Uncle Daryl did. His Uncle Daryl is now a graduate of St. Louis University Law School, and that's the same type of success that I want for my son. And that's what I made clear to him.
Intervention at this point, no matter what.
Obviously, absolutely, obviously. Absolutely, he needs some intervention at this point. He needs a whole lot of help at this point. Absolutely.
And can you tell people, you and your wife, his stepmother, you had no knowledge that he was in that basement?
We had no knowledge that my son was in that basement, period. Oh my God. And I don't know that he was in that basement the whole time. How could me, my wife, the Detroit police, the FBI, and all of these task force who have lived in my house,
Did he have the means to get it out here? Did he have a key to the house?
He was eating. It was implied that perhaps that your current wife might have been keeping him down there and hiding him perhaps from you.
That is absurd.
Does your ex-wife
That
have
is
access?
absurd.
Did she say that she's told you point blank that she does not know where he is?
Yes, she has. Period. My wife wouldn't do that.
Would you have
Simple as
noticed?
that.
Would you have noticed any disturbing of the property? I mean, you would have noticed he was coming in and out, wouldn't you?
You know, I can think I would have, but I would think that I would have noticed that he had a Twitter account that I didn't know about, which the FBI told me, and some, you know, additional money that they found. So, I mean, as a parent, you do everything you can to keep as close a track on your children as you can.
Did he have a key? Could he have gone in and out?
We had extra keys around. I mean, so it's possible. We have extra keys.
Are any of them missing at this point? Have you looked at that?
That hadn't crossed my mind.
A lot of people were talking earlier about the whole lie detector situation. Your wife declined to take one with Detroit police. You said yes to the FBI.
The FBI did not ask my wife, Agent Scott Wheeler, Special Agent Scott Wheeler, after I declined to take the lie detector with the Detroit police because of the way the lieutenant treated me and my family. The agent said, well, okay, what about with the FBI? And I said, yes, absolutely, because I didn't do anything to my son, and I believe my son is going to be found safe and alive, and I want him home.
Did your wife volunteer? Did she consider volunteering for the FBI examination?
The FBI didn't ask her. If the FBI would have asked her, I don't see why my wife wouldn't have. But to be clear, the FBI asked me and not her.
But if you were looking to divert attention, why not volunteer her?
But listen, the FBI, obviously the focus was on me. And even today I got a call from the reporters and even from you guys saying that they're looking at this as possibly, you know what I'm saying, a homicide case. You know, the focus was on me, and that's why they asked me, and I wanted to clear it up, point blank. If the agent would have asked my wife to take a polygraph test, she would have had no reason not to, because my wife didn't do anything to my son, just like I've been saying that I didn't.
And you guys are both still willing, in the aftermath of everything that's happened here, you're both willing to take polygraphs with the FBI now to show that you had no knowledge.
I want to take it with the media because the FBI doesn't release that kind of information, and I want this information out to the public. Period. I want my name cleared and my family name clear, and I want my family to be able to go forward. So I'm asking you, the media, to get the retired FBI, CIA agents, however you guys do it, because I want the truth out to the public.
But Charlie, they said that it looked like it was a barricade that someone had to have constructed.
You know, yeah,
he would have needed help to construct it.
You know what?
Maybe there was some food placed.
And you can go down and look at it. I mean, it was a big 5-gallon drum. Do you think your son's big
I
enough to lift that?
Listen, have you seen the pictures of my son? And where exactly he was found? What were the subject? Was he in the drum?
No, he was behind a container. But they said he was
okay, we have all kinds of
was
stuff.
nervous, but happy to see police.
You know what? After disappearing like that, I'm sure he would be nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course. I mean, why would he not be nervous? Simple as that.
What are you going to do with him when he comes home?
That's gonna be up to Police Chief Craig and these other folks, I'm supposing, and I hope they don't leave before I get a chance to ask them or talk with them, because I want to talk with them. So my son, he's obviously gonna need some counseling. He still needs to get his education. He needs to move forward with his life. So I'm gonna do everything that I can to help my son get his life back on track, which is what I've been doing right along.
The evidence that was already taken out of that house.
And see, evidence is implying that we did something wrong, just like people were accusing me of being a murder. It's only evidence that there was some crime committed. No crime committed here. That's not what happened.
Could there have been any other sort of abuse? There was blood evidence that was taken out of that house.
Yeah. There was no abuse of my son. There was no, they said that there was evidence of a murder. That was nonsense then, and it's nonsense
What do you
now.
think Charlie's going to tell him? What do you think his explanation is going to be? You know your son.
Would there be any blood evidence from a
You
prior
know,
incident?
I know my son to a certain extent, but I can tell you, I can't say what my son is going to say to them, and I don't want to do any more guessing. There's been guessing about me being a murderer, actually being a murderer. I'm a nurse. I take care of people for a living. That's what I do. And I take care of my son, which is what I've done his whole life. So I don't want to do any more guessing. I want to get to the facts, which is why I asked the media to do a lie detector test so that we can get to the facts. That's why this has been the focus, my whole focus through all of this. That's why I agreed with the FBI agents when they asked me. They said, okay, let's get to it. That's why I agree with the FBI agents, and that's why I'm asking the media right now still. Hey, let's do a polygraph so we can put it out. All of these questions.
Has Charlie ever said, I'm going to hide, I'm going to run away, and can you actually see him being able to do this?
Charlie ran away before.
But just for a
so
few
did
hours.
Well, he was found within a few hours. You know, he was found within a few hours. So, you know, what his intention, was there, I mean, I can't say. But you know what? Right now, I'm happy that my son is home, and I want to catch the chief and the other. Are they leaving? I want to
Ever go anywhere with friends?
No,
Why not?
that didn't happen.
Why not?
I never went outside unless I was allowed.
Little Charlie Bothuell, now 13 years old and on the stand testifying about what he says was a terrible life with his father and stepmother who are charged with abusing and torturing him. Little Charlie said the first time his dad hit him with this PVC pipe was a few years ago after he ran away and police found him and brought him home.
I was told to basically lay across the table, the dining room table, and I basically got spanked on the butt.
With what? Anything?
A wooden stick for a short while, and then a plastic PVC pipe.
All at the same time?
Yes.
And this is the first time we are seeing photos of where little Charlie was found in his father's basement 11 days after his father reported him missing. Police say the basement was cluttered and full of boxes. Then one officer found little Charlie hiding behind this barrel. Charlie would later tell investigators that his stepmother, Monique Dillard-Bothuell, hid him in the basement and told him not to come out no matter what. Today, little Charlie said his stepmom has hit him, but it was rare.
What did she do?
Sometimes she would punch me, or I got choked once.
By her or someone else?
Her.
But the worst pain, he said, came from his father. If little Charlie failed to complete his chores, homework, or workout routine that sometimes lasted for 2 hours twice a day, he says his father would hit him with the pipe.
Can you tell us where you had injuries?
On my butt.
Well, how do you know it was injured?
Because the skin was split open.
How do you know that?
I could feel it, and I saw it before.
Okay. What would happen when the skin would be broken, if you can tell us?
It would bleed.
People have offered Mr. Bothuell an opportunity to plead guilty to child abuse in the 4th degree, and the people would agree to dismiss upon the acceptance of the plea of child abuse in the 2nd degree. The people have agreed to a sentence of a term of probation and other terms to be determined and set by this court.
That's correct.
And can we swear in Mr. Bothuell, please?
Please raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter now can be before the court to be the truth? Thank you.
Could you state your full name for the record, sir?
Charlie Bothuell IV.
And how old are you, sir?
47.
And how far did you go in school, sir?
2 classes, shot my MBA at University of Detroit.
Okay, are you a United States citizen?
I am.
Do you read and write the English language?
I do.
Do you understand what's happening here today?
I do.
Is this your signature on the guilty plea form?
It is.
And you've discussed this plea with your attorney?
I am.
And you understand the consequences of pleading guilty in this matter?
I do.
And are you satisfied with your attorney's representation in this matter?
Absolutely.
Okay, you understand, sir, that when you were bound over from the circuit court, you were originally charged with child abuse in the 2nd degree, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 10 years. Do you understand that, sir?
I do.
And the people have agreed that if you plead guilty to a reduced charge of child abuse in the 4th degree, which carries a maximum penalty of 1 year or up to 5 years probation, that they will reduce that charge and dismiss the original child abuse 2nd degree charge. Do you understand that, sir?
I do.
And they've also agreed to a sentence agreement of probation with all terms and conditions to be set by the court. And I had discussions with your attorneys that one of the requirements is going to have to be an anger management course and to complete whatever parenting classes are required by the family court because you have some proceedings involved there with your other children, correct?
That's correct.
And then you're to have no contact with Charlie Bothuell IV. Or 5th, sorry, 5th, while you're on probation. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
And I indicated a term of 18 months. Baffle chambers. Do you wish to go forward with that agreement, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you understand that by pleading guilty today, you're giving up your right to a jury trial in front of 12 of your peers or a bench trial in front of me where I decide the facts of the case? And at trial, you would have had the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, and the prosecutor would have had to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
I do.
And you also would have had the right to have witnesses against you appear at trial to testify, and your attorney could have cross-examined all those witnesses. Do you understand that?
I do.
You also could have called your own witnesses to court and the court would have subpoenaed them to be here to testify on your behalf. Do you understand that? You also would have had the right to remain silent after trial, and your silence could not have been used against you. Do you understand that? Or you could have testified on your own behalf and told your version of the facts. Do you understand that? Knowing and understanding all those rights, is it your wish to give up those rights and plead guilty today?
Yes.
Other than the plea agreement and sentence agreement stated on the record, has anyone promised you anything to get you to plead guilty today? Has anyone threatened or coerced you in any way to get you to plead guilty today? Do you understand that if this plea is accepted, you're giving up any claim you can make that your plea is a result of promises or threats, unless you tell me about those promises or threats right now? Do you understand that?
Are you in fact pleading guilty voluntarily and of your own free will?
Yes.
Are you currently on probation or parole to this or any other court?
No.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty today, you're giving up your right to appeal your guilty plea as of right? And even though the Court of Appeals can grant you leave to appeal, it doesn't have to grant your application. Do you understand that, sir? Okay. With regard to the reduced charge on count 1 of child abuse in the 4th degree, how do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
And Mr. Smith, were you willing to voir dire your client as a factual basis for his plea?
Yes, Mr. Bothuell. Sometime in 2014, in around June, or anytime in 2014, he used a plastic stick to discipline Charlie Bothuell V.
Yes.
Was he a child?
And
Under the age of 8? He was 12 years old.
He was 12 years old.
That is correct.
And are the people satisfied?
People are.
Do you have any questions or no? Ms. Goldfarb?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Ms. Goldfarb kind of hesitated.
Yeah, that was a PCV pipe specifically, correct?
It was a plastic PVC pipe, yes. But it was a thin, it looked like a stick. All right?
Yes.
Okay.
The people satisfied?
Yes.
Has the court complied with Court Rule 6.302?
Yes.
Yes.
Court finds the defendant's plea is understanding, voluntary, and accurate, and accepts the plea of guilty. At this time, is there a motion for immediate sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do the people object?
No, we don't object. It's the factual basis. I had a little bit of a hard time hearing this. Did he say he used it to discipline, or that he used it to? But he used it to assault him, correct? He hit him with it.
He disciplined him and he hit it with him. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I was
Let's
hitting.
hear Mr. Bothuell. Did you hit your son Charlie the 5th with the PVC pipe?
Yes.
This time we have no objection to proceeding according to the court's decision.
Okay. Then we'll proceed with immediate sentencing. And at this time, is there anything the people would like to state before the sentence is imposed?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything further that the defense would like to state before the sentence is imposed?
I don't think the defendant's going to say, but I'd like to say something.
Yes, you may.
I'm going to be very brief, but we have in front of you a registered nurse who has absolutely no criminal record ever in his life. And we talked about this over the weekend, and he's beat down. He's wore out, and he understands what he did was wrong. He thought he was doing the right thing. But for the charges that have now been dismissed, those torture charges, his life would probably be normal. And now he's going to have to deal with this, and he understands that he's going to show you that he's not the person that he was made out to be in the public eye. He's a really nice guy, and I love him to death. And I know you've already determined what your sentence is going to be, but you're never going to see him again. He's not going to be a problem for you. He's a wonderful human being, and this whole thing is it's one of the worst. It's almost like a bad made-for-TV movie. What happened to him? That's all I'm saying.
Is there anything you'd like to state, Mr. Bothuell, before I impose sentence? Mr. Bothuell, then pursuant to the discussions that I had with your attorney and the cops evaluation I gave, it is a sentence in support. You be sentenced to a period of probation for 18 months, subject to the following special conditions. You must not have any abusive or assaultive contact with anyone while you're on probation. To me, you're not to have any contact with Charlie Bothuell V. It would be within 500 feet of his school or home, or place of employment, which I don't think he'll be employed at that point. And you must attend anger management courses, and you must complete all the requirements of the family court. I understand there are some parenting classes that are required. You must attend those and complete those courses through the family court. You are not to have, I would say no abusive or assaultive contact with anyone. Mr. Bothuell, it's my duty to advise you of the right to request leave to appeal from the Court of Appeals to appeal your plea and sentence. If you're unable to afford an attorney to prepare post-conviction motions or perfect an appeal, the court will appoint an attorney for you at public expense and will provide the attorney with the transcripts needed to prepare your motions or an appeal. You're further advised that if you wish to file an appeal or a motion, the request for the appointment of an attorney must be made in writing, filed with the clerk of this court within 42 days of today's date.
Your Honor, I think the court is required to order restitution and the possibility of a hearing if a restitution amount can't be reached.
Is there restitution at this time?
We haven't had a pre-sentence report, so I can't determine that. But I would ask the court to order restitution to be determined, and then if.
Okay. Well, I forgot to assess any of the fees. So the defendant must pay $53 state costs, crime victim assessment fee of $75, court costs of $1,300. You were retained or
retained.
Pro bono, and $180 probation supervision fee, a payable rate of $10 per month, and the court will order restitution if any,
Where will restitution be coming from?
I don't know where it will be coming from. I mean, any damage to the child.
There may be psychological damage. There may be counseling required. Those are things that are to be determined. If we have submissions of those, we will submit them and ask the court to make a determination. But I'm asking the court to leave that issue open.
I will leave it open to be determined.
Thank you.
But the people have not submitted anything at this time. Anything further from the people?
Nothing from the people.
Anything further from the defense?
No, Judge. Thank you for your
Mr.
patience.
Bothuell, I hope to never see you in here again because that would mean that you've violated the terms of your probation.
problem. At least another 47 years on the law. Please. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just hope this whole family can put this behind them at some point.
Thank you.
See you later. Thank you, John. Bye.
Just have a seat. I can show you later. Okay.